They're gonna have to drop soon.
Keep you holding us as well.
Just tank it. In the air. Take it up. Chill. It's eating it.
Yeah.
No bubble. Just chill. Shoot left.
Left. Crack the gibby.
Last guy.
One guy. Hey, Viv.
Let's go.
Our Apex champions.
Welcome and hello. Today's video we're going to be going over how to become a pro. In this video I'll be talking about the skill levels you need to enter tournaments, your roles, finding a team, scrims, practice, tournaments, all that good stuff, and even the quickest way to tier 1. And if that interests you, this is the video for you. Stay tuned. Starting off, we're going to go with skill levels to enter. Most people might have the misconception if they think they need to get into comp, they think they might need to be masters, pred. The truth of the matter is there's tournaments being held at all levels, whether that be diamond only tournaments, low tier tournaments, open league tournaments. There are a lot of tournaments held all ranges, and I truly do believe regardless of your rank, you can start learning like how it's played, how a lot slower is than the ranked and normal lobbies. It's definitely a good idea to get your toes into there whenever you feel like, whenever you think comp may be for you. Now we got your roles. Now this includes your IGLs, your fraggers, or your anchors. IGL are characters who are usually, say, Ash, Wraith. Sometimes I've seen Crypto. Usually they're characters who are able to gather a lot of information and scout ahead and make the shot calls, make the plays. This is your like Imperial Halls, your NRG Suites, you know, the people who you usually see when you turn into a team who are like making the final calls. Now we got your fraggers, your people who will be playing characters like Bloodhound, usually Valkyrie in this meta, characters who look to get a lot of damage, and that's their only goal: kill, shoot, damage. Then you got your anchor, people like Caustic, Gibby, Watson, characters who can hold an angle, characters who can hold a position too while their teammates push for a kill and they don't want to leave a position behind, characters who can like hold down an area. Now it's very important you know your roles so you know who to practice and know what teams you can offer when you go start looking for teams, which we're going to get into in a little bit soon. Now we're going to go into finding your team. I'm going to put a link in the description below. It's going to be for a Discord server known as V&M Scrims. They have a section called Organizations and Free Agents. Now you will find people looking for every type of player here. Now there are several more posts. I know there's Reddit forums and other stuff, but I've seen the most success for a lot of players in these servers. So I would highly recommend you look into the server if you're looking for a team still. Now I do recommend when a team is asking for like, you know, a Gibby, anchor, you present yourself in that way. You don't want to like have any confusion being like, oh, I'm a Gibby player, or I can play Gibby, but you know, I really want to be a fragger. They're just going to kick you from the call or they're just not going to want to talk to you. I'm going to be like, okay, this is not what we're looking for. You don't want to waste your time or anyone else's time. If you're a fragger, go tell them you're a fragger. If you're an IGL, go say I want to be an IGL. You know, people are looking for everything out there. Now we got finding your scrims. So I'll be giving two servers. One server I already linked you, V&M. They host scrims, tournaments, scrims all the weekly. It's like the main source. You'll see a lot of known faces compete here. It's probably like the best run scrim server. But if you're saying want to scrim on some days V&M doesn't host them, I'm also going to post CCE Discord link, or I'll just post their page, Twitter link. They are also good for hosting scrims and practice, you know, all that good stuff. Now that's gonna be your main form of like competitive practice is scrims, but I highly do recommend you and your team consistently play ranked together, because you're gonna constantly get that level of skill and practice on your mechanics that sometimes you're not gonna see from other players. Consistency in your mechanics will carry you a long way. And if you're one of the players who are in Masters and Pred, I would double down on even playing ranked more, because the only players you're going to be seeing in those lobbies are people with gun skills of pros. Like I'm talking, you're going to be going against his Watson or someone like Sweet Dreams, C9 Team, Zach, all those people, Albarelli. You're going to be fighting these people on the regular in ranked if you're a Masters or Pred player. So I highly recommend to play ranked as your second form of practice if you have no scrims. Now we're moving on to tournaments to compete in. Now, like I just said, the servers I just gave you for scrims will also be hosting their own version of tournaments, but it also helps to follow. It also helps to follow a bunch of pros or just content creators or stuff like that on Twitter, because sometimes, like currently right now as recording, you'll have tournaments like the Chipotle series and who are hosting like open tournaments and stuff like that. Now some people might shy away because obviously a lot of high level players will be competing here, but all level of comp is still good information, whether you're a fragger, IGL and stuff like that. I would even say the harder the competition, the better, because it will let you know where you need to optimize your gameplay to compete in the higher end tournaments. Now we have the quickest path to tier 1. This is what I'm talking about, the LAN. That's like the people who just went to Sweden, the people on those big streams that Apex hosts. I'm talking about all that stuff where you're competing with the biggest names and stuff like that. Some people might think, oh, I need to be signed to an org to compete in those tournaments. The interesting fact about these tournaments is some teams, you may notice, don't have logos. They might just have like a random Apex logo. Those are people who went through the free tournaments to compete. They weren't invited like some other people. They just got a team together, went through the tournaments and made it through. Now, those tournaments they went through, Apex tends to host them after each, like, I guess, yearly cycle of competing. Right now in July is the championship. And after the championship, what's going to happen is there's going to be a new Pro League, there's going to be new challenger circuit, a whole bunch of tournaments that are going to open up. What I recommend you to do is to follow the esports or the Apex esports Twitter. They will always let you know when these tournaments are available and how to sign up. And if you get a good team together and you compete through all those tournaments and win and place very high, you have a great chance at being able to compete in the Pro League. And if you do great in the Pro League, you'll have a great chance to compete in the playoffs. And sometimes, well, it looks like playoffs are being now held more at LAN centers with the new LAN that we just had, and the playoffs or the championship that's also be taking place on LAN. So if you want to compete in person, I highly recommend you compete in these tournaments. It is your quickest path to Apex Pro stardom. Now getting on towards the end of the video, we're going to be talking about the most important parts about competing, the mentality part. And that's going to be starting it off with burnout and how to avoid it. I highly recommend you find a team of your pace, whether that may be a team that loves to rank every day, rank every other day, or rank 3 times a week, or scrim 5 times a week, you know, that stuff. Like when it comes to scrims, you're going to be sitting there for at least like 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours, depending on how fast it's ran. For tournaments, sometimes they may be upwards of 4 hours, depending on the format of them and rank sessions and all that stuff. If you're like young, say 16, 17, 18, you have free time, great, you know, you're not going to really be focused on time, but you still may have school. Then there's some people who are out of school who still may have work and stuff like that. The aspect of competing and always focusing on improvement is going to definitely place a heavy burden on the mentality and how much fun you're having with the game. It's definitely going to open up the doors of thinking like, do I really want to compete and stuff like that? And I believe competing's for anyone, but it has to be at their pace, because if it's past their pace, they're going to hate the game and never want to touch it again. So I highly recommend you go at your own pace. Now we on to the last topic, being honest with yourself and your team. Now this kind of plays into the avoiding burnout and pacing yourself. Be honest with yourself. Are you actually looking to become a pro like Imperial Howl? You know, are you looking to be that type of pro? Or are you looking to be more of a competitive person who loves to compete from time to time and play for money and have a good time? Because those type of practice and skill levels and how much dedication you put in are going to be very different from each other. You know, something like competing like Imperial Howl, you're playing upwards of 30 hours a week, 40, shoot, maybe even 50, depending on how dedicated you are. But if you're someone like who just wants to do this for fun, you're not going to have such a crazy schedule. You'll probably play like 15 hours a week, you know, maybe one tournament maybe one tournament a month, or a scrim a week or something like that, you know, something a lot more laid back, but still have that competitive integrity. And when you're honest with yourself, you have to be honest with your team as well. Because if you're going to be on a team that is wanting to be Imperial Howl level and you're over here just trying to have fun, it's obviously not going to mesh well. So I think that's an important conversation you need to have with yourself first, and definitely the players you decide to play with. Now with all that stuff out the way, that's going to lead me to my outro. I just want to thank you guys for watching the video. I hope you found something important in here for you. I like to do these educational videos just to help people get into stuff, Apex wise, you know, and all that good stuff. I also do other type of videos here outside of the informational ones. I also do post funny gameplays, you know, tier lists, all that good stuff. But with all that being said, I hope you guys had a good time. Like, subscribe again, you know, all that good stuff, yada yada. And I hope you guys have a good day.
Bounce with it, just bounce with it. Everybody wanna come, I'm announcing it. I'm always gon' get it, I'm always gon' get it. Even if you sit back denouncing it. But I'm a good kid, I rock gold, I'm never gon' sleep with ya. I loved you, I've been wrong, but let me see the whole damn picture. But damn, I got it. Super when he popped it, fake ass ride when he copped it. Roll the snow.